You pull out and you shoot 4 times.
Yeah, the gun jammed.
Oh, the gun jammed after the 4th shot?
Probably like the 3rd shot.
Okay. After you start shooting, there were off-duty cops in the area and they start shooting.
Right.
A lot of people are starting to get hit. King Von had a guy named Slutty. He gets killed by the police. Old Block Louie, who I interviewed not too long ago, he gets shot in the head. Did you think that King Von survived the shooting, or did you know that he was gone at that point?
I didn't know neither one, if he was gone or still alive. I didn't even know it was him. So I didn't even know if he was dead or alive. I just was trying to make sure Quando was good.
Okay. There's rumors they're saying that Von was trying to hold up Quando as a shield. Did that happen at all?
Yeah, I really think like by him getting shot in the back, his body was just locked on to him from holding him. Like his body was just locked on and he couldn't let go.
Hey y'all, Ray J finally admits that Jay-Z and Beyonce tried to pay him to not tell what he knows about them involving in the Diddy party. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, I'm gonna just get to the clip, man. Hey, roll that clip.
Beyonce's in it. Jay-Z's in it. You're gonna get this person, they're gonna come out. You know, this happened to this person. Really was, don't say what you know. Here's some money to be quiet. And I'm saying that.
Ray, I want to make sure I understand this. Are these high-profile people calling you because they've had some affiliation with Diddy that they don't want to come out, and they think you might be the vessel for it coming out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't even know why I just said it, but I said it, so what? Now they gotta be mad. Come get me, fuck it.
Now they gotta be mad. Fuck 'em. Come and get me. He already know Jay-Z and Beyonce probably gonna put them goons out or somebody out behind that bullshit, Ray J. Ray J double guessing that shit. He said, I don't even know why I said it, man, but fuck it. I said it, man. He know them high profile, man, but fuck it. Hey, we are not finna let this shit die out. Cause, you know, once people go to trial and stuff so long, people let it die. Now the hell no. I'm gonna keep this shit in y'all face, man. Drop your comments, man. This shit crazy, man. Hey, it ain't over, man, until the fat lady sing it. I don't hear no fat woman singing. You dig? Big Tonka, man. Let's go.
$4 million. That's what he was paid during his NBA career. You know, I feel sorry for this brother. He seems like he's got a good spirit. I don't know him. He's going to do federal time, and, you know, he seems like he's resigned himself to, you know, he did the time, did the crime, now he's going to do the time. But this was completely avoidable. I was with A-Rod during the Breakfast Club interview recently, and A-Rod was saying something that's so important that I say it in a different way. I say as your world gets bigger, your circle has to get smaller. Eagles don't fly in packs. You've never seen a flock of eagles. I've told you that making a living is different from building a life. I've told you that cash flow, no matter how much you have coming at you, is just cash flow. Cash flow. Without financial literacy, it's gonna flow right away from you, because the criminals, the bad guys, greedy people, they're trying to separate you from your wallet for their own benefit. He really just had bad company. And A-Rod had said in this interview, it's interesting how if you ask somebody to pick their favorite sports legend, you'll pick the top of the mark, but you'll pick the person who you think is the top of the mark in their area. For me, it's in motorsports, it's, you know, Lewis Hamilton and Jordan and, you know, others, Reggie Jackson, who's a friend of mine. There's a lot of folks who deserve credit, you know, Hank Aaron, et cetera, et cetera. But you'll pick the top of the mark, you know, whoever your favorite people are, and you won't compromise. You'll be like, you'll argue about it, right? But then you get that position yourself, you get that contract for $1 million to go into professional sports, and you hand that $1 million to your boy from the neighborhood to manage it. The guy who couldn't make it on Wall Street, the guy who couldn't make it at JP Morgan Chase or at some big Wall Street firm, or even as a commercial banker, the guy who failed his accounting exam, the guy who dropped out of school, right? The guy who wants to hang with you at the club, right? We confuse, I like him, with he's competent or she's competent, right? I like her, I like him, versus they're competent. Business is not personal. And we give that $1 million to that person, and then you wonder why you're broke, because they were broke when you gave it to them. The only reason they have any money is because you gave it to them. They're so poor they can't afford the OR. They're so broke they can't pay attention. They're living through you. You're not living as a result of them, right? You cannot be the strongest link in this chain I don't do business with anybody today unless they're stronger than me. So why aren't you going best in class? If you make that money, entrust it to somebody who has got as much or more to lose as you do. Oprah Winfrey has a rule. She doesn't put her arms around anybody who doesn't have as much reputation to lose as she does. I know because that's the rule that she made me apply to or made me prove when she gave me the Use Your Life Award, I don't know, maybe a decade and a half ago. An investigator came and checked me out. I didn't take it personal. She's like, I'm Oprah Winfrey. She didn't say that, but that's what the vibe was. And she wasn't going to put her arm around me, even though she thought I was doing good work, unless she thought I was a good guy also. I had to meet the mark, and it had to be a flight to quality. This guy hung around the wrong person, the wrong people who gave him bad advice. They had nothing to lose. He had everything to lose. And now they've gone through his $34 million and some crazy thing of fraud of the NBA, which is medical fraud or some crazy thing. And, these guys, their life's not, there was no high expectations from them to begin with. But who's the story? Who are we talking about right now? The NBA legend. Half that money should have set him up for life. I want you to do better. I want you to know better so you do better. Rainbows after storms. I hope he has a second chance to do it right. He seemed like he deserves it. Go to Financial Literacy for All. Go to Operation Hope. Get your coaching and counseling. Get your book, Financial Literacy for All. Follow my podcast on money and wealth at the Black Effect Network. All right, John O'Brien, I'm out. Peace and light. Let's go.
We begin with breaking news at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. We told you the roof was open for tonight's Lone Star Showdown between the Dallas Cowboys and the Texans. Well, we've learned a large piece of metal has fallen. Want to go live to NBC5's Pat Doney, live there at AT&T Stadium. What happened, Pat?
Well, Meredith, we were live here on NBC5 at the top of the 4 p.m. newscast talking about the game here tonight. And as the roof began to open here for the first time in 2 seasons, by the way, the Cowboys were planning on having the roof open for a home game. We started to notice pieces of debris falling from the roof down here to the ground, and that included a couple of large pieces. One that really stood out that turned out to be a large piece of sheet metal. As you said, we had video and pictures taken of the piece of metal that did not injure anyone. It did not hit anyone when it hit the ground here on the field at AT&T Stadium. But at that point, the decision was made that it was time to close the roof and that it was not safe to keep it open at this point to have the game played.
Seeing a lot of like LeBron's son, LeBron Jr., who's playing great. Obviously the Currys. You're seeing NBA players whose sons are coming up and looking like they're going to be NBA players.
Well, here's the thing. You got to play the odds and the percentages. There have been a lot of great players, and all their sons are whack. Kareem got a son? No. Magic
Jordan
got some sons. Jordan got sons. The monsters in the NBA, they dads wasn't that good. Kobe Bryant, his dad wasn't all that. That's why he's such a monster. So you got LeBron. It's going to be very hard for his kids because they're not going to look at him as LeBron's kids. They're going to be like, you better be just like your dad. And then after a while, that pressure starts sitting on you because it's like, wow, why I got to be like him? Why can't it just be me? And then they be like, oh, you're soft. You're not that good because the expectation is very, very high. My boys are good, great, but let's say I really excelled in football and made millions and millions of dollars. Do I spend that time with them now? No. I got the off season. I got to worry about myself. Now I just buy you everything. Now I get you a trainer and hope you turn out to be okay. Where the fact that I wasn't all that allows me to spend all that time and make my boys all that. Anybody who already had that expectation, a lot of their fathers don't want to put all that weight on them because people don't look at them as what they were.
LeBron wasn't happy about those comments and told LeVar to keep his kid's name out of his mouth. But looking back, LeVar Ball was completely right. Bronny has unfair expectations placed on his shoulders, but it's not just because he's LeBron's son. It's also because it's been LeBron's dream to play with him before he retires, and LeBron has made that well known. Both LeBron and LeVar have made crazy statements about their sons, but Lonzo and LaMelo earned their spot as NBA players. Bronny hasn't, and the Ball brothers are used to the high expectations since they were dominant in high school, and Lonzo went to UCLA while LaMelo played in Lithuania. Bronny was just thrown onto the Lakers after only averaging 4 points in college. LeVar was honest with his middle son LiAngelo and told him he likely won't make an NBA roster. Imagine if LeVar was able to force LiAngelo on an NBA team. Chances are, it'd be very obvious that he doesn't deserve to be in the league. Now, LiAngelo has played in the G League and the preseason, but he was cut before the regular season because he wasn't good enough. Now imagine that LeVar tells everyone to quit criticizing his son and that he's earned the right to be an NBA player. That's basically what LeBron is doing with Bronny.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this.
Bronny could have stayed in college and developed into a decent player, maybe make the NBA one day, but instead, he's been forced onto the Lakers so LeBron can be the first NBA player to play with his son. The massive pressure and